you're really just delegating, right? She doesn't now take on a leadership title.
She's not a leader.
She's not a senior manager just because you now appointed her lead of accounting.
So
right?
She's just the accounting lead.
She's just
right. I'm still the CEO.
So
the CEO that makes you the accounting lead. It doesn't make you CEO.
Right.
I don't know if I would look at a woman as a helpmate. Like, I'm looking at this woman as an equal to me, right? And as a leader, from the traditional perspective, from leading the household, right? She is also a leader within the household, but she allows me to lead, or we're leading each other in different aspects, right? And so I'm bringing value, she's bringing value, we're bringing trust, negotiation skill sets in order to empower the family. But ultimately, she's allowing me to lead because you can't have two drivers in a car. You know, it's just not how things work. But I'm driving today, she's driving tomorrow.
There's no allowing me to lead. If I hop in the driver's seat, I'm driving.
Sure.
There is no allowing me if I'm the driver. I determine who drives.
So when you say...
Wait. Because so with that mindset alone, right, that's when you lose your girl, right? Because at that point, you're not hearing what she needs. You're just saying, this is how it goes. And then at that point, she's like, all right, well, let me figure out the stuff for myself. Let me figure out what I need to do. Let me see how I need to move, because this leader isn't leading us. That's not even with relationships. That's with anything, right? Like, let's say we all went to war, and I'm like, all right, let's go and evade whatever without a plan. Y'all gonna figure out, like, all right, well, I'm leaving. This doesn't make sense to me. And so any decision that you make for you and your woman or your family, it has to benefit everybody. You got to understand and ask them, and always check in and make sure that it makes sense for the whole clan.
Exactly, right? And so if that's a win for you, the way I look for a win for me is that servant leadership, right? Where you being that leadership, your leadership style, you're being a servant leader, where you consider all the things that she's bringing to the table, her values, her principles, and that aligns to where you're going. And if because of that, you are leading the family in this direction, right? All right, and you can trust upon like everything that she has and the value she brings, you're considering that. But because of that, like I said, there can't be two drivers in the car, right? Today I'm driving, maybe tomorrow she's driving. Maybe I'm driving for a long period of time, maybe she takes over. But that servant leadership comes into the fact where I'm like, I'm taking into consideration. A servant leader, right? Just a prime example is your boss, right? Or your manager at work that looks out for you, that wants you to get promoted. Because if you get promoted, I get promoted, right? I'm not just looking out for myself, which in one sense, yes. But in the other sense, it's like, yo, if you do well, I'll do great. So as a man, if you do great, we're gonna be great.
But the thing is that when you say if she's driving, she's only driving if I say she's driving.
Well, no, it got to be a level of commonality, right? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who drives. Granted, yes, in the traditional sense, a man is going to drive. But at the same time, if you're tired, right? She takes a driver's seat. As long as y'all heading in the right direction, because it's already predetermined that, hey, this is where we're going, right? We're going this way. It doesn't matter who drives. It's already systematized.
If I'm tired and I still feel like, as a tired person, I'm still a better driver than you, I'm driving.
I got the Tesla on.
It doesn't matter. This is the thing about leadership, is that the leader understands his role. He doesn't have to do everything, but he has to know how to put his people in the position to perform the best. So if I know that as a tired driver, I'm still a better driver than you, I'm still going to drive. And this is my thing, is like, we've come to a place where we've tried to re-engineer the wheel. We've tried to re-engineer like what works in relationship. And at the end of the day, if women are saying that they respect men that are above them, that perform better than them, that are more competent and more intelligent than them, and they can lead, what is the point in telling men that at some point you need to let your girl lead? Like, I don't understand that concept. I don't believe that.
I'm not saying let your girl lead or whatever you guys decide, right? But you're driving, right? You got to keep your eyes on the road. So you're always looking forward. You still need that direction. You still need somebody to look at the GPS. You need somebody to be like, hey, all right, no, look at the map, teach you which way you're going. So at the end of the day, I think you still got to consider those that are in the car with you, right? You got to consider your family, your woman.
So to add to that, right? Like, I'm in a leadership role and I look at who's best fit to get this done, right? So if she's best fit, let's example, she's great at accounting and math and money management. I'm not. she's best fit for that role, right?
But you determine.
But right.
No,
Okay,
no,
so
no,
You're
no,
the
no,
determining
listen,
factor.
So wait.
Yeah.
To Amani's point, all right, you're really just delegating, right? She doesn't now take on a leadership
She's
title.
not a leader. You're
She's not
still
a
the leader.
senior manager just because you now
No.
appointed her lead of accounting.
So,
Right.
She's just the accounting lead.
She's just right.
I'm still the CEO.
So-
I'm the CEO that makes you the accounting lead. It doesn't make you CEO.
Right.
because I said-
So the whole point is more so about the delegation, right? As a good leader, right? You're in control in the sense of I'm driving the car, right? And she's in the car because she trusts your vision. She trusts that you're headed in the right direction. So she's trusting your decision. And sometimes direction you go, she might not understand all the way, and that's where you have that conflict. But then that's when the trust comes into play, where I might not understand it today, but if you're leading it in the sense of, like, in my perspective, the best decision is what we do. I don't know, this regardless of who mentioned it, right? Now, if my girl knows more about money than I do, and she has a better decision for where we should invest our bread, then I'm gonna go there because, that's the better decision compared to what I'm doing. But again, like Amani's point is, it's coming through me, right? She's bringing it to me. I'm now saying, you know what, that's smarter than what I was going to do. Let's do that, right? But I'm the one that's still driving, right? Now, if I have a better decision, I'm going to go with it. If she has a better decision, I'm going to go with that decision.
So, but
it's still, I'm still taking the onus of it by making the choice.
So are we now saying,
both of us.
Are we now saying she does not have the capability to lead?
We're saying that there's only one leader, and the man has to be the leader in order for it to work. Because if we know that women want a man who leads, then in order for me to put the woman in the best position possible, I have to be a leader. In order for her to be in a feminine role, she's looking for a man that's going to lead. So even in your situation where you say, okay, she'll handle the accounting, it's because I told her that you'll handle the accounting. I'm still the leader. You're just the accounting lead.
Sure. She's still the leader. So from a traditional sense, right? Sure, you're still leading your marriage or your relationship, right? But when you say that, okay, yes, I'm still leading and I'm giving her this role, right? I'm still looking at her in my eyes as an equivalent, and she is leading in that aspect.
Equal
right?
doesn't have to be identical.
Equal doesn't have
that's
to be.
fine.
Equal doesn't have to be identical, right? But she's trusting me, right, to be the leader in the sense from the traditional perspective. She's trusting that. So yeah, I get what you're saying, but I think from a different viewpoint, it's like I'm not just saying this is what you do because I'm telling you what to do. I'm saying that
it's a syntax.
it's a syntax. I'm saying okay, you're best fit for this role. I appreciate the guidance and of course you're giving me the autonomy to lead because that's what you want. You wanted a traditional man. You wanted someone that was going to be able to lead. So I'm also leading, but I'm also delegating and saying I respect your values. I respect what you're doing. You lead in this area here. But guess what? We also have to take a different viewpoint, right? There's going to be times where there's times we're never at 100% in anything we do. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So there's going to be times where she is going to have to take lead. That's the power couple that you want, if it's possible. And she's going to lead in certain areas. She's built those skill sets. You help build those skill sets for her, or she's built them up so she can lead in those areas. You're still the leader, though.
Right, because it's not taking away from his point, right? My
away.
whole point is, like you said, you delegated to her to be the lead in that area, right? Whether it's the finance, whether it's in like the chores, whatever you guys have it split. She's responsible for that. You're responsible for X, Y, Z, whatever.
Regardless of whoever says whatever, like she knows she respects you as this person leading the family for her.
I want to get closing thoughts, but I want to touch on power couple. One, personally, I don't believe in a power couple because here's my thing, right? I have a fallacy that I've created called the boss babe fallacy. When a woman becomes a boss, she wants a man who's a boss. But when a man becomes a boss, he wants an executive assistant. And so there's no way for there to be two bosses because inherently the man doesn't want to be with a boss because he doesn't want the traits and the characteristics that come along with a boss. He doesn't want a woman to come home and be dominant and assertive. All the things that come along with progressing in your career, he doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be challenged when he comes home. So that's why I don't believe in a power couple. But two, I do want to get the closing thoughts on this topic.
Wait, I want to add something though because I agree. Yes, nobody wants conflict. I agree. Nobody wants conflict at home, right? But just to go back to the leadership thing, right? Let's say you get sick, right? You say your woman is a leader. You delegated everything to her, right? Delegated just her tasks. So now let's say you're not here. How do you want your family to be led while you're gone? Do you want it to just stand still? Do you want it to just sit around and wait for you to get back? If you get back, so I think it's important to understand as long as you're heading in the right direction, and you guys establish that direction ahead of time. It doesn't matter who leads. You need to put your woman in position to be able to lead if you need her to.
So this is the thing, right? Great example. I love it. She will lead by performing the vision that I've outlined for the family. All you have to do is execute the vision that I've already outlined from the family. If you believe that I've had the vision for the family, all you got to do is execute what I've already imparted to you. Here's the thing.
I mean,
We're trying to re-engineer something that's already been from the beginning of time. From the beginning of time. This is what it is.
Hold on.
All right. I mean, listen, I'm trying to have a conversation.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, talk.
From the beginning of time, this is what it is, and it's just like, let's take y'all approach. Okay, the woman leads.
That's not what we said. That's not what we said. That's not what we said. That's not what we said.
Somebody trying to make them. No.
nobody said
We
it.
were saying she has the capability to. She wants to.
All right,
I mean, my whole point. I think a man's vision is only a part of the story.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There's things that men aren't really brought up to think about, right? When
Right.
especially when it comes, that's why we're seeking a nurturer, because
Yes.
we're not adept in those skills. We're not really versed in being empathetic or really understanding what it takes to be nurturing and care, especially when it comes to like building your family. Now,
Right.
a woman, she on average, I would assume that like women traditionally, they are invested in that, right? That's what they think about relationships and children. That's something they have to deal with. So they thinking about that vision for themselves, and they say, okay, you know what? This is the kind of family structure that I see for myself, and this aligns with the vision that Armani has. We're gonna now bring these two things and meld them together, right? Your idea of generational wealth and prosperity and longevity, and her idea of like how family should be raised and structured. Of course, you're gonna bring your insights to that too. But I think it's the melding of two. Now, of course, you're gonna make sure that you pick a girl who has that nurturing vision in mind of like how she sees her kids and how she sees that structure, and you'll pick that too, just as she sees your vision of how you want to build generational wealth and how you want to structure your family. Then she kind of commits to that. So I think there's it's a twofold thing, right? Where you guys have to figure out how to bring that together. I think like women, it might not be as far as their vision, it might not be in the same walk that ours is in, but I think that there is an aspect for it.
So let's closing thoughts really quick. 1 minute lightning round. Closing thoughts on this topic.
What you mean, like closing thoughts? Like, so rephrase it. What's the question? Like you said, like closing thoughts on like the topic. What was the question? What was the leading question in the topic?
So, okay, running a relationship, right? Do you believe that the man leads? How does the man lead, if so? Or do you believe that it's a combination approach?
So, I'll go ahead. From a traditional perspective, a man leads, but he is a servant leader. So her values, her visions, all those things are included in the decision-making process as they move forward as one unit, right? Simply as that. That's just my belief structure, how I see things. And people often get misconstrued like, oh, well, why can't she lead? Of course she's leading. Like, there's not an aspect she can't. I would hope that she wants to lead. But in a traditional perspective, of course, a man is leading, a woman is following the lead of the man, of course, with all her values and all her beliefs and structures, including that process and going forward. So.
All right. So I really think, yes, let's say the man leads and the woman follows, but I really feel like the most important thing is the direction you're going, right? Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, you could say you're leading, but you could lead everybody into a pit. And that's really not beneficial for everybody. So the best leader, honestly, in a family, in any organization really, but like we're talking about in a family right now, is the one that understands the needs of the wife, the kids, and is able to execute on those decisions. Regardless if you feel like you're in charge, you don't necessarily have to even feel like you're in charge. You just that comes with it, right? And being a leader that understands the people, understands your family. I think that's key, because at the end of the day, if you're not in the picture anymore, you still want your kids to be in the same direction. You still want your wife to be heading in that direction that you set forth for everyone to follow. So I feel like it has to be a dynamic situation, and it has to be predetermined between the husband and wife what direction you're going, and it has to you have to get the buy-in from your wife and your family. So that's my standpoint on that.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you guys. I think this is just my personal opinion because every relationship is subjective. I think whatever fits your mode or whatever fits your flow, whatever, I think you should follow that. But for me specifically, I believe in relationships where, as a man, you do the work to develop the purpose and the vision and find a woman that kind of wants to submit to that vision. And, in that sense, as a leader, like I said previously, like you have to be really a real good listener, right? To kind of incorporate her thoughts and perspective as well. But you're accountable and responsible for the outcome as well. And, I think, I had a little brain fart right now, but,
I believe that once, as a man, if you want a woman that's going to follow you, you got to be a leader. Once you do the work to become a leader, I do believe that the most successful relationships, the most successful nuclear families are when the man is the breadwinner, when the man is a leader. I believe that from a historical standpoint, that's what we've seen. I believe that men provide structure and order. Men have built societies, cities, infrastructure, roads, organizations, businesses. I believe that men have done the work to provide a functioning society, and I believe that if you're a man and you have a vision, I think that you are responsible for executing that vision for the family, and the woman is responsible for supporting you. I believe that from a biblical standpoint. I believe that from an experience standpoint. I just believe it fundamentally. Mm-hmm. So, with all due respect, that's my belief.
Yeah.
And that's
no, I fuck with it. No.